change, the most positive focus, and what we need to propel ourselves forward in the best way possible. If we're caught up, thinking about the past, thinking about the future, then there's no way to be present and be mindful. And that's so important, and it is in the present moment where we can implement the most dramatic change.
I mean, not in a bad way, like a good way.
I got that. It's very thorough. I don't know. It's an ability that you have. I don't know if it's conscious, but it's something that it's not like you had to train to do it. You just can do it. And you've gradually actually gotten better at it. So about angels, tell me experiences about angels.
Well, it's so interesting. My background is blurred. You can't see my angel that I painted in the back. But the first experience I had with an angel was not like somebody said. They were trying to read me in like a sort of a mediumship reading, and she says, well, it's hard for me to find a person because there's so many angels around you. And I was like, what? I was like, okay. And ever since she said that, it sort of opened up like my experience with angels. Now, what was really interesting is as a medium, I have been in development and have development circles and people that I work with. And
a metallic, round spear metallic shooting light from the bottom to that tree. Within few seconds, that thing just collapsed. They didn't fly away. They just collapsed and disappeared. So I think they traveled through dimension. They didn't fly away. They just collapsed. I go, oh. Then I woke up. I go, oh, this is a dream. Okay, wow. Then I went downstairs and my daughter was drawing some picture and I said, hey, Nadi, did you see that? It was a dream. He goes, no, Daddy. We saw it. It was UFO. And she drew the picture. Showed me. I go, oh my God. This is what happened. Wow. Yeah. Then from there, I couldn't get out of my house because I went to get my newspaper. I grabbed the doorknob. The doorknob just fell. As soon as I grabbed it, it came off the, door handle. Just boom. I go, oh, what happened? So I went to all the doors. So I tried to get out and just doorknob just fell.
So what was it? The metal was affected by whatever that ray
the metal and it just came out. And I go, okay. I said, relax. I had to drink some orange juice. So then I grabbed the refrigerator door and pulled it, and the refrigerator door came off. Handle came off. I go, uh-oh. So we had a small extra refrigerator, so I opened the refrigerator.
Drives that people need to realize in this human body, we're two. It's the soul and the human. And we're working with both of those energies. And when we cross over, we lose all of the humanness. We lose all of the primitive animal instinct. We lose any kind of ailment, pain, and we transcend the body. So it's a different experience. And what always comes to me in large group readings and things that, Spirit wants to imprint on their loved ones, and it seems to be, it's very common for them to say, enjoy the physical senses here. We truly, don't indulge to the point where you're gonna, destroy yourself or go down bad roads, but definitely smell the roses, taste the wine, taste the piece of chocolate. I think one thing that, from my understanding, when we cross over, the senses, we don't have the physical body, so we don't have the physical senses. We have the psychic and the energetic senses, and they are so powerful.
I was watching TV with my daughter, and all of a sudden I could feel this electrical storm, like, things like that. And all of a sudden, boom, and all the light went out, on the house, in the neighborhood. So me and my daughter went upstairs. We opened the window, and we looked outside, and it was like windy, really strong storm, windy. I go, what the heck was, I saw weather forecast was really nice, but all suddenly that area was windy, all the light went out. So as soon as we saw outside, we had a huge tree backyard, and all suddenly the tree got lit up like a helicopter, police helicopter light on the tree.
Oh, wow.
Boom. Go, hey, how come this police? It's like a police helicopter light flying above our house. What's going on? Then all of a sudden that light turned into chakra color. It was wing, wing, wing. Then me and my daughters put our neck outside and saw it. It was
You approach this in what I want to say a scientific, evidential manner. You want to debunk things. You want to get to the bottom of what's here, you know, and are there other things that maybe people are misconstruing or thinking it's a ghost and it's not. And I really, you know, I find that very, very interesting.
It may sound silly. You may have heard it from other people, but they listen, and you tell them you don't have any right to follow me home. That actually does work. So I do that after every investigation.
No, that's absolutely. I think you have to protect yourself out, and that's probably one of the most important things. Wouldn't you say? Just that preparation and that groundwork, and making sure you have that solid foundation, you know, protected by that divine light.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and it's always go to good with a group. You don't want to go by yourself because you want to have some type of backup if something happens to you.
So how many people in the team of investigators do you have, and who are some of the members? You mentioned a few already. You're the team leader, and it's War Party Paranormal. What's the name?
War Party Paranormal.
.com.
And we're huge. It's overwhelming sometimes. We got 30 team members.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
And so just feeling like where that story or whatever's going on in your body, to like really be going in and feeling it as deeply as possible, whether that's just like closing eyes, breathing through, or like doing a vision journey, going deep in and being in a led journey. But either way, to like feel the sensation all the way through. Sometimes it can like clear in one time, but sometimes, you know, it's just a layer of an onion, and it's like you're just getting more and more out, and the story is shifting each time. But I just like believe life's wanting to create something new, and those sensations might just be encouragement for that.
I mean, and I did have some very dark nights of the soul where I had negative spiritual experiences. I'll just say that. And I had to pray, and I just put my hands together and I said, "Oh Lord, please help me." And then nothing, disappeared. So when you go to the source and you ask for that kind of help, and I think that, you know, people go through these kinds of things every single day where they just feel like, oh my God, I need help, right? So, and I was lucky. I say this a lot. I say I'm lucky because I somehow just knew to do that in this kind of dire situation. I asked for help and it came.
And, you know, we're not alone in this. Many people are dealing with this and going through it. And I think the one thing that we have to remind ourselves, and we've discussed this many times in the past, but there is no right or wrong way to process your emotions and the sense of grief that you have around, you know, whatever's occurring. There is no right or wrong way to process that, but I think we have to accept that we do need to process it, and we do need to allow ourselves, you know, patience and grace going through that. You know, it's a very difficult thing to allow to come to the surface and to rise to the surface and sit with it and feel it. But it's so important that we do that, because so much dysfunction can come out of trying to submerge it and trying to push it down and not feel it. And a lot of people want to numb themselves out and, you know, kind of feel as if they can numb themselves out from it, that they'll be able to get through it easier. Well, that they're dealing with.
I have to say the silver lining for me, there's a couple. First off was that I had the privilege to know this living being, this living creature, Elsa.
Yeah.
because it was only joy. It was only fun and joy until December. So the last 6 months was a rough and rocky road. And I do know it was interesting. Right after she passed, even that day, had prayed so much. I was praying so much that it felt like, first of all, it was definitely being lifted, that it was seamless, me and I guess the angelic realm, God source, whatever divine energies. I look at that and in my memory right now, those first few, I guess it was the 48 hours after it happened, it was so powerful the way I felt. And I can't pinpoint, was it because I was praying so much, or I was just literally surrounded by this energy that was really good energy, pure positive whole energy. And
Thank you.
okay, I'll throw my hat in. Okay, this is what I received, Cindy. It's very interesting. I received immediately stairs going upward, okay, positive, up and out. And I received, I've never had this, where a lot of shapes were involved with you. Now I tune into your sound, I'm not looking at you. So a spiral out, okay, so it's, like a spiral, you would say a vortex, okay, and then a zigzag. Okay, what does this all mean? Well, I got that you were tied up too long and you need to be free. You need to be unwound. Okay.
Okay.
You're away from, you have to get away from the things that are going on in your life. And you need some closure. Okay.
Kali Yuga and coming out of that experience, going from Pisces into Aquarius, these types of natural progressions that the planet that we're on right now go through, and the fact that we get to live through this experience of lower level consciousness coming into higher level consciousness, and we get to be the beings that experience that transition in a very rapid time.
Yeah, and I love the way you explain it as energy, because that's how I explain it, and that's truly what it is. And I think when people can start understanding that it is all interconnected energy, and we have to look at energy in that way. It's like, as a medium, I'm reading the language of energy. Even like as a psychic, as an intuitive, we're reading that language of energy. And I think that can completely shift someone's mindset and how they approach any aspect of their life when they start seeing it in that way. There's no way you can completely see all the factors around the situation unless you're looking at it from your natural human and your spiritual, I guess, aspect, to
your upbringing or what's going on in society, and we get nudged and kind of pushed off the cliff, and we have no choice, because sometimes what's going on in our life isn't working anymore, and we're suffering, and it grows more and more and more within us. Our spirit wants us to break free. I really appreciate your honesty with what you just said when you said a long explanation, because it was relatable. What you said was very relatable. And star people, we have
I'm a meditator, and again, that a part of this process is being comfortable with removing your consciousness, what you call your consciousness, from the human body. That's what all mystical experiences are. That's what you experience when you have a psychedelic experience, is this dissolution of the ego, of the I am a human, my name is Joe. It dissolves away, and you start to realize that you're far more, you're deeply interconnected with everything. So being able to kind of remove your consciousness from your body is very helpful along this process.
This will be the meditation for laying the groundwork of connecting to our divine self, right?
Exactly, yeah.
There you go.
Advanced.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure you two will have a very different experience than somebody who is doing this for the very first time. So, yeah, just go ahead and sit back, close your eyes. You do want to keep your back, your spine as straight as possible.
Get it. And or you can have some kind of Kundalini awakening or a spiritual awakening, and that might happen if you have some kind of loss, an epiphany, something changes in your life drastically, and you look at everything and you see it from a different perspective, and you literally awaken, and your mind shifts, and you realize that we're all connected, and you become more about service to others, and you forgive those, and you might go through a spiritual awakening and ascension by having dark night of the soul, which is you are approached by triggers and traumas that you had in your lifetime, and you can't look away. You have to go through them, and you suffer. You definitely suffer through the dark night of the soul, but you look at things from more of a thought perspective rather than an emotional, and you look at it, and with one thought you change your perspective, and you say, oh, okay, so now I have a higher vibrational frequency. Now essentially,
conscious or unconscious of that, whether they're playing the bowls or the gong or the Tibetan ones, the crystal ones, like it is magnified, you're right, and that is what is being sent out through the vibrations.
Yeah.
So it does make a huge difference, what is playing, what the intention is, what is being thought. Yeah.
would you hit the gong a few times, because we didn't hear that? Because
Like,
we have to mute then. We have to mute. She's got to change the setting.
Oh my God, I didn't hear the gong.
Like I tried.
Can we hear it? Are we going to hear it?
You right now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, wait, she turned off the
Oh,
sound.
wait, I gotta hit the button.
Yes. All right, and we're going to mute so we don't echo.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the button. Okay. But it helped me balance my life. It helped me feel invigorated in the classroom, helped me feel invigorated in my relationships. And so then I just wanted to bring that to people. I was like, I want people to know that, like, you can have whatever job you have, you can do whatever you want to do, but like you can do it in a different way. Or if you want to do something different, you can do that too. And so that's really when it all kind of came together. And then I just have kept deepening. I've brought more of a cohesive relationship with more of the Bible, with Jesus story, bringing more Magdalene elements in, and sacred feminine wisdom of like feeling at home and weaving beauty in the body, so that it's not just like, we're not just meditating with mind, we're also like feeling we're, really being with ourselves every day too. So,
come to Tennessee. So I'll take you around. I've done some crazy expeditions over the last couple of years, but yeah, Colorado is a good place. Alabama is a great place. A lot of places in Tennessee are lousy with these things. So that's what I do. I explore it and I find things. I'm actually researching 5 different properties around a cemetery where my wife is buried. And these people have come to me and said, look, we got stuff going on. Can you look at it? And sure enough, these 5 locations all have evidence of Bigfoot activity, from tree structures and manipulations to vocalizations to screaming. While I was sleeping in the cemetery one night, I experienced 3 hours of screaming.
Deeper and deeper and deeper. And and it's pretty interesting because I've looked around, and our podcast, our show, we take very raw guests that are really, they have a pure heart and they're sharing their truth. It's not also commercialized, which is kind of the best, isn't it? Like we had Shayna Blackmar, and we had that sound healing 2 weeks ago.
Unfiltered and unprocessed in the raw. The more back to center we're going to get when we're thrown off, and it's one of those things like, and a perfect example, when I started embracing this spiritual aspect of myself and knew this was the journey and the path I needed to go on, I had to do a lot of work. There was a lot of inner work that I had to get through to establish my foundation. So I had that energetic stability when I was doing readings for other people, or I was doing a gallery, or I was dealing with such heavy grief of the loss of a child, the loss of a parent, someone that suddenly, had been taken away from this physical reality.
And then she sits over in front where your feet are, and then she goes through, and it's telepathy, because she's not saying the questions out loud. She's saying to my body, and she's holding my legs.
And I'm looking at lists while I'm doing
she's looking at lists, and it's about, how many questions is it, Bonnie?
a lot.
A lot. It's pages and pages. And she's asking all these questions to my body. What do I have? And she came up with that. And she even asked questions, emotional questions. Didn't you asked my body emotional questions? So you come away with what, 4 emotions that I have? 3 or 4 emotions.
There was probably for them. There was 3 or 4 emotions,
and I was surprised.
and usually they make no sense to me. And I'll say, they have this or this or this, and usually the first one is the main one, and the other ones all work off of it.
Welcome to Two Psychics. This is Michael Edley, evidential medium and mystic, discussing all things spiritual.
Hello, I'm Mary Amy of Two Psychics, an intuitive wisdom coach, tapping into your mystical life and sharing messages I receive about you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 53 of Two Psychics. 53 episodes. It's hard to believe. Hard to believe we're on episode 53, but it has been a fabulous journey. Having this fabulous journey with my fantastic co-host, Mary Amy. What is going on, Mary Amy? How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. I can feel the spring, summer is here, and I'm super excited. And we have so much to look forward to. We have so many upcoming guests.
But I did just say, he's my forever Valentine. It's something that keeps
awesome.
my memories.
Okay. So I mean, he's very connected to you, and that's why I think it's very important for you to understand his energy is connected to you, and
beautiful.
yeah, and it's important to understand he's guiding you. What's very interesting, I would try to be very present when you're connecting to him and asking him a question, and to try to get that guidance, because the way that I can explain our loved ones, it's interesting. I feel like their energy comes back to us almost in like a guardian angel type form.
Mm-hmm.
They can't infringe on our free will, but they can imprint guidance. They can imprint information for our highest and best. And it's interesting because I keep on getting number symbolism from him. So what I would definitely say, if you're not already tuned into the numbers, and it's not just like the 1111, the 222, look for number synchronicities around you if you're asking him a question, because I think that's one of the ways he'll be able to guide you if you're not like clearly hearing it yet. I think you can. I absolutely think you can develop your psychic abilities and get that connection to him. It's interesting because
as soon as we get next to those lights that have now stopped moving, the EMF meters are going crazy. Now, EMF meters are ghost hunting equipment. Why is ghost hunting equipment going off during a Bigfoot expedition?
certain sounds. Certain people have certain frequencies that are more inherent in their body. So, that is, I would say that tone or that frequency has a more powerful charge, and it reacts a little differently, and depending on, how your system and your energy base is aligned. And it's something that I would tell everyone to pay attention when they're listening to non-traditional things. So the problem we have with like modern day music with lots of lyrics, lots of what I call noise. There's a lot of like clashing sounds, clashing tones, and it doesn't stabilize us. And actually, some of it can cause more of a chaotic disharmony.
What's behind the illness?
Mhm.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to do what traditional meds do or put a Band-Aid on something.
Mhm.
I want to get behind it. And I want to, and I always talk to people about saying, you may, especially with biomag, you may need to have, how many, whether two, maybe I can do it in one time, and I do it all the time in one time. But sometimes it needs to have, say, 10 sessions or whatever we have to see, because it's like an onion. We're peeling the onion.
Yeah.
People tell you that lime hides,
Mhm.
and they don't know, and lime hides. So do so many other pathogens, whether those pathogens are bacteria, virus, molds, parasites, they hide behind something.
A lot of people think, hey, I need to ascend. I need to be there. Well, what people need to understand, it's the journey. It's the journey that matters, and how we handle ourselves through that journey, how we show up. And that's really the truth of the matter.
You're shifting and transforming into the best version of you. I think that's
Well, I just have some questions regarding, my love relationships, I guess you could say. I'm not currently
Okay.
I haven't been actively seeking anything. Sort of had a partnership that keeps coming in and out, and I've learned my lesson within it. It's, I can't control others' behavior. There's nothing that I really want out of it, but it does continue to present itself, this person.
All right, so let's do this. We will connect on an energetic level, and we'll kind of see what's in your collective. I'll start reading the energy that comes to me from your collective, and we'll kind of take it from there. We'll see we'll see what's going on. So if you could just give us your first name slowly, and we're going to connect on an energetic level.
It's Kerry.
Kerry.
Keri.
What's interesting, so obviously calling into a show like this and being a medium, we're kind of tuned in a little bit. We've been doing some energy work tonight. I have to talk about male energy coming in that's around dad's side of the family or dad's energy. Now, as a medium, we establish energy, and for me, it always comes in a certain way. So when I have an energetic connection that's tied into dad or dad's side of the family, it comes into my right side, and I'm feeling that overwhelming now. So I definitely have energies that are so I have to ask, is dad in spirit, or is dad still here?
He's in spirit.
He is. Okay, so that's the energy. Okay. Now what's interesting is when I start feeling his energy and I'm connecting to his energy, a few different things are coming out around this. I don't know if I don't know if there was a Bill or Bob that was significant to him, or his initial, or a B initial that's around
person. And I'm like, yep, this is me. And so I do think about this often. I know my dad had this bubbly personality, or whatever you want to call it, but I also feel like there's the other side of that. There's the shadow side of that. My dad lived through the Korean War, and he went through hell there. And I would say that a lot of my life too is like, what the heck, and just some of these events that started when I was in the crib, just for your audience to know. I started being, I don't know if you want to say abducted, because for the most part that I recall when I was a baby was, Grays visiting me, all these kinds of things. And then, yeah, my whole life, and when I was visited by the Grays, for a couple days afterwards, I would have certain abilities and things that were odd. And then and there's residual that I don't even know about, and sometimes it just bubbles up and spontaneously happens, and usually in front of other witnesses and everything. But I I hid in what I call the cosmic closet. I got to look at you. You're up here. You're not down there. You're up here. I hid in what I call the cosmic closet because how do you explain these things to people? The things that would happen to me. If you're near me, spend a day with me or something like that, something funny, something weird, something peculiar is going to happen. It just does. And it's exciting.
Around your being, which maybe close your eyes and visualize it surrounding you and allow it to embrace your heart, and all of your being, your bones, your flesh, your organs. I used to always say this one saying during all my live videos. I'd say, light on the horizon. Good things are coming beyond your view. A difficult situation will happen, will occur. What does that mean exactly? Well, I would have these dreams that I'd get up and I'd see this picture window and I'd go to the window, and this would be literally a dream, and I would remember it vividly. And I'd look out this window and I would see light on the horizon. Sometimes I'd see water below it. And doing this will change you. I promise you. So speak of light.
It's interesting you speak about dreams and the dreams you had, because that's one of the most important factors that occurs when someone is going through that spiritual awakening. And when we're so caught up in the daily, the daily processes and procedures of life, we forget about our spiritual self. We forget about our that divine connection that we have. And in the dreamlike state, that's that space that our analytical right brain shuts down and that creative mind opens. And when we're going into those deep levels of sleep, that's where that 9 hertz is where mediumship connection happens. I mean, that's what they've discovered in the lab. That's what we've found is the sweet spot for mediumistic energy, psychic energy. And there seems to be this cross at 9 hertz that occurs. And also in the dreamlike state that happens. And that's where our loved ones, our guides, the angelic realm, they can get through to us because the human condition isn't controlling and harnessing the mind, So we have to really, really be open and really listen to the dreamlike, the dreamlike state that we're in. And that's why I said you're fortunate that you can remember it vividly. Most people don't. So the best thing you could do is have a small journal, a little book where you right next to your bedside table, and jot down any important names, numbers, dates, whatever it may be, right